Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's daily brief weekend show. I guess this is our Broiler Chicken Show. Buck, buck, buck. I have no Chris here right now, and we may have less Chris as we go forward. So I'm just gonna hack this up. Who knows if this is even gonna work or not. I don't see anybody over there on YouTube, and I don't even have a hangout or anything. I'm just running this on my own. Maybe just, good old times, the way we used to do it years ago. So I don't know whether anybody's even over there watching over on YouTube, or if this is even working or not. But anyway, I'll just I have, of course, Liam here on Sundays, super high priority. The way we used to do it years ago. Oh yeah, well, sounds like I'm just barking away, talking to myself, I guess. Over there watching. So anyway, enjoy the offering. No idea whether there's going to be any value to you people or not, but hey, there we go. There's a couple people over there on YouTube. Well, so we do have a few people watching. As I said there a moment ago, basically just running this on my own, so no intro, no fancy titles or anything. I don't even know if there's even a description to this video or not. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't really care about all the glitz and glam and all that crap. That stuff doesn't really mean much to me. So what I'll do, if anybody does want to join me in the, I guess like on the other side, I'll create a Google Meet like I do for the classes, and you can come in and hang out with me live if you want. But I don't even know. What I usually do is Chris has the Zoom thing, and I never did get involved in all that Zoom stuff. So, guess I can just secure video conferencing for everyone. I wonder if this is it. Dude, Broiler Chicken Show. That must be it. All right. Well, anyway, so that meet is there. And that way, if you need to yell at me or something, you can always come into the actual meeting. I don't really like the YouTube thing because it's kind of delayed, so it's kind of messy. But so I'm just going to post in the TRI lounge. If you want to join me in a Google Meet for the BCS, feel free to join here. Boosh. I can see site members are just chit-chatting away with each other. Probably don't even know that I've got this video going here. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what the hell happens here today. Present now. Actually, if anything, I kind of like the idea of getting sort of back into the swing of this because I think I'd feeling more and more like a lone ranger these days. Anyway, we will see what happens, what our future is at the end of this crypto cycle. So the end of November. We might have some pretty dramatic changes. That's the end of November next year. But anyway. All right. Grega says, "Oh, we know." All right. Not quite sure what that's about. It works, BB. Let's go. Hey, there you go. So, well, at least I got the screen recording. There's 20 people over there. All right, so as you may see or not, it is 10:36 on the wet coast here today. Especially this time of year, the sun like literally goes down like, I mean, it's I've lived here 30 bloody years, actually even longer than that probably. And yeah, this place is so screwy. I mean, the politics are just socialism up the ass, communism, really. They cloak themselves as capitalists, but make no mistake about it, this is such a communist society. It's ridiculous. Weather is horrible 90% of the country this time of year. In fact, whenever we have Meg on these calls, I always tease her. She lives in Alberta, Alberta, Canada, where it's a balmy minus 30 degrees today. So, poor old Meg and Casey and the family. But anyway, my heart goes out to anybody not living in the Lower Mainland here in Canada. This time of year, it's not enjoyable. Anyway, that's here nor there. It doesn't matter. Point here is because we're so close to the North Pole, the sun goes down very early. We have a whole bunch of people who have been relocated from the various parts of the world where I don't even think they even have DMVs. And you can see it on the roads. I mean, it is shocking, the deterioration of the quality of driving on the roads. And after dark, man, it's you're taking your life into your hands driving on these roads now, because these people, most of them learn to drive in some third world country that like I said, they don't even have Department of Motor Vehicles there. And I see them blatantly, flagrantly breaking the law. Like they just don't give up. So anyway, point of the matter of all that is I do not like driving after dark here in Canada. It's very dangerous. So I have to be out of here an hour or two earlier than I would normally do. So I did tell my partner in crime here that I was going to be doing these shows earlier. And unfortunately, I don't think he can make it this time of day. So as a result, I'm on my own. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, if you guys get some value out of this, great. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell, all that kind of fun stuff. If not, I won't be offended. I think probably the primary purpose that I do all of these, year in, year out, is actually it's a good sort of like verbal journal for me. And a good way to review the market and what I'm sort of seeing, and you guys get to come along for the ride. I might do these in a very different format going forward, but as I said, this next year should enjoy a pretty friendly market state. Of course, the public is calling for the end of the world. So if anything, that's perfect. As soon as the public actually starts saying, yeah, get in there, you'll make tons of money, all you got to do is buy, it's so easy to get rich, that's when you have to go, uh-oh, party's just about over. So I don't think we're quite there yet. I do see on the sort of like the how would you describe it? I think we had a very dramatic rally following the election, on sort of the hope that this whole socialist push has maybe been tempered. Unfortunately, I do think that quite a bit of the economy that we're going through right now was actually put in place when Ben Bernanke famously broke all the rules about money management and good economics by basically turning the money printers on, which you're absolutely not supposed to do, especially if you're the hegemony. But sadly, I think that's why hegemonies come into place to begin with, and why they ultimately become unhegemonies. I think there's actually a very natural stage and a natural process to all of this. Actually, I suppose, I don't know. Actually, this is a good opportunity. Is there any value for me to have the camera on in these videos? Is there any value in that whatsoever for all of you? Does it make any difference? Is it easier for me just to talk, or do you like me being on camera? I suppose I can go through the process of putting that together. And did I? Yeah, okay. Well, I did post the Meet link here, but I haven't had anybody even ask to join me. I don't know if I've totally butchered this. I probably have. But I don't know. Give me some feedback whether you want me to put the silly little camera thing on there or not. They're not yell a bing yet, BB, so top is not in. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. There are some little signs, though, that I think things maybe got a little ahead of themselves in crypto. And actually, I even put out a tweet before we got going here today. I'm wondering, and I've been I don't know, throwing it out to the community when I do sort of like in-house videos and stuff. Who is this cycle's pigeon? He's out there somewhere. Sad part about it is he probably, or she, it, who knows, probably doesn't even know that they are the pigeon. No problem for Cam at all, BB. We see more chart now. Yeah, maybe that makes sense. I mean, I think the camera stuff's kind of stupid. And I think the people that do watch this, it's a relatively limited audience. Unfortunately, when it comes to investing and trading and stuff, I don't really like, how do you say this? I don't really like pandering to that common denominator. If anything, what I would prefer to do is say, look, this is the way you're supposed to play the game. And if you want to play the game this way, great, awesome. You're more than welcome to join our community. We have incredibly awesome traders, very intelligent. We just make fun of the public. Often we're actually taking profits and bringing the register into the panic buying that the public does, which is kind of a shame, but that's just the capitalist process. So, one of the debates that I have right now on the site is who is this quarter's con job? Because it's coming. Don't take it personally. We don't need your camera. Yeah, I probably agree with you. And I certainly don't win a lot of fans through my handsome good looks, eh? That hasn't done me any favors. So, anyway. So I'd be curious, and it's interesting. I even said, can we come up with a short list now? Well, ahead of the bubble? Because I guarantee you, the con job that is going to destroy all of the public, it's happening now. It is underway. And the people that are basically planning the con, they're in mid-plan as we speak. And the worst part about it is, as the con and as the bubble is filling up and inflating, ironically enough, all of you will be absolutely in love with these people. Then the floor will fall out of the market, and you all in the public, probably not a lot of people that watch this broadcast, but I guarantee you a lot of the Joe Six-Pack schlubs that really have no idea what the hell they're doing in the market, they will turn on these people in a heartbeat. And that's the one thing I absolutely hate about this human species. Their allegiance, as Lisa would say, is paper thin. Anyway. You look like 20 years younger. I do? I don't even think you can see me right now. This is not me, by the way. This is last cycle's con job. This is probably more what I look like than this. Where am I? You want to know what I look like? There's what I look like. There I am. Pikachu. What's so funny is I remember when Lily was a baby, we used to have this little, back in the early 2000s, we used to have this little thing, and you always pushed it, and we go, Pikachu! Pikachu! Do you remember that? Oh, God. That's a million years ago. You've been watching me for years. Hey, anyway, well, that's good. Beamish, you demand though. Well, the thing here is that I'm just trying to give you guys the straight goods. I'm trying to. Oh no! Oh God! Look at this. What the hell's this shit? See, this is the kind of stuff that scares me, right? When people actually put this kind of stuff out. Oh God. Anyway, there you go. So Billy Ann here's. Oh, is this the guy? Is this who we're supposed to listen to? Oh goodness. When everybody and their brothers doing this kind of stuff on social media, then you know, like, uh-oh. We're near the end of this. So the call has ended because everyone left. They didn't even give me an opportunity to like ask me whether I wanted to end the call. That's hilarious. Not everyone left. I was sitting here, Google. Jesus, how frustrating is that? Anyway, nobody's even joining me here in the call today. So who knows what the hell's going to happen with all this? This might be an absolute butchering of a job I'm doing here today. All right, the rational investor you are presenting. All right, ignore that. Well, if anybody does want to, oh yeah, well, if anybody does want to join me. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fill up my coffee cup and get another banana so I have some energy when I talk to these markets. So I'll be right back. All right, one cup of coffee, one banana, one sweater. A bit chilly in here. Alrighty. Let's see. What the hell can I do for all of you good people? Try and make a positive difference in your lives. Why don't we? I don't know whether because we didn't bother doing a newsletter or anything this week. Hey, there's Chris. Well, let's see if he wants to join me now. Oh wow, I had no idea. Wanted to start earlier today. I had everything set up and then took a nap. All right. Well. Now we'll see whether he wants to join me or not. Let's see. Where is the meeting information? I guess that's I've forgotten how to do this. Meeting details. I thought that was it. Oh, there it is. Copy joining information. All right, well, we'll give him that link. I don't know whether anybody in the TRI lounge wants to join me or not, but I suppose I'll throw that out there. Didn't seem to work there the last time I did that. Let's try that again. Hey, there we go. Well, let's see if anybody wants to join me. Okay, so what would I normally talk to you guys about? You know, the breadth of the market. I think this is basically I like seeing your face better, BB, but it's up to you. It's more enjoyable to watch, especially with the new haircut. Yeah, might as well enjoy the I see a lot of talk on crypto Twitter about vertical accumulation, so we must be close to top. Haha, I know I've been watching you for years. All right. Well, I mean, the good part about this is it's not really rocket science. I'm kind of fucking around here today. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Do have to be out of here by noon though. Like I said, want to be at Lily's by 1 o'clock. So we got about an hour or so to mess around here. And I don't even know if we'll even talk about anything relevant here today. Okay, so what do you want to do here? VDO.ninja. Ninja. Oh, yeah. And then we'll go add camera to OBS. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Error, could not start. Oh, I don't think I've turned the camera on, have I? Hey, there we go. Let's see if that works. Problem with camera. Is camera gonna turn on? Survey says. Looks like the microphone's working, so that's good. EOS webcam utility. Usually that works. Let's try again. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Oh, maybe this silly thing is using the camera. No, it says it's not. Another app is using the camera. Try. Oh, you know what? It might be OBS because I don't usually run OBS over here. This is kind of fun. Maybe let's try over here. Do we have camera? Browser. Yeah, that's what I would have thought there. Oh, video capture. Maybe that's it. I'm just going to do that. Hey, look at that. There I am. Boom. Let's see. Do I pop up mysteriously on YouTube all of a sudden? Survey says, let's see if Brian's going to pop up out of nowhere. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. I think I'm still alive. Anyway, you might just see Brian just pop up out of nowhere. Hey, there I am. So, oh, geez, I better try and make myself look at least a little bit respectable. So there you go. Whoever, and weird, my hairdresser, she's from, how are you supposed to say it? Iran? I think you're supposed to say it or Iran. I can't remember. Anyway, she always corrects me whenever so I guess we can put that away now. And you know what's really popular, mind you, I don't know whether I think I butchered it here today. Really popular over there is they put beeswax in their hair. So that's what I did here today to make myself all look fancy, but I think I screwed it up. Anyway. Okay. Do we start the show now? Is that what's supposed to happen? All right. Complete butcher job, but what the hell? Yeah, I noticed that, Zach, but I don't know. I can't chase that damn thing. I want a W to come in there. All right, so let's talk markets. I might as well get on with this here. Breadth, kind of pointing down. We do have the Fed coming up next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I think that most of the market is going to be dominated by sort of Fed speak. And if anything, I've been reading that, basically the stock market's kind of just paused here. I think I told you before that usually the stock market likes to rally into the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, especially with this Black Friday and Cyber Monday and stuff. And they're really... I think if anything, the retailers, they would prefer to try and get the sales sooner rather than right at the very end of the calendar year, December 25th, and then Boxing Day and all that crap. Mind you, I guess the Americans actually, I don't think they really celebrate Boxing Day. But anyway, point of the matter is I think this coming week is going to be dominated by Fed. And if anything, is Ubix starting to come back to life? Oh, look at that. And if anything, this is a great sales pitch for our site, but probably most of you that are watching are already members of the site, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I tell you, man, this community is just awesome. And this morning, one of our OGs, Steven, is having a great old time, and I was kind of just joking. This, if anything, if you're a crypto bull, this is a bad sign. You don't really want to see this. Actually, this is your first opportunity to interact. So, who can answer this? Fill in the blank. The what always rises what? And you don't need to swear. You can say, oh, the poo-poo or the caca or whatever you have to use. The merde, right? I'm going to say, excuse my French, as Cotter would say. So it's interesting. Steven is just going crazy. Steven was the one who got me onto Solana last year, and actually I've done, the site funded me with like $500, and I've held on to the money. That's me. I do not like to lose money. Makes me sick to my stomach when I lose money. I'm fully invested, very, very well diversified, and actually got a bit of a positive return. So certainly nothing to complain about. Anyway, Stephen here. Now it seems that the latest flavor du jour is and I'm not even quite sure how this goes. I think we need to bring Stephen on to the Daily Brief on Friday. And actually, ironically enough, it was almost exactly 1 year that he did the presentation on that with the community and got me onto the Solana just before it went crazy. Actually, probably sort of mid crazy. So anyway, he's all excited about this this decentralized exchange, Hyperliquid. You get there by depositing USD on Arbitrum, and I do remember people like Colin and his buddy Dan, although we haven't seen Dan on the site for a while. It's a little disappointing. That's the one thing I don't like about the site is once people do the education program, then they go back to their old worlds. At least some do, some don't. Anyway. But I do remember Colin and his whole group, and I think Dan Blockmates, I think that was his name. They were pretty excited about this Arbitrum, so I'm wondering whether that's sort of the next flavor du jour. Limit order, CEX experience, severely centralized right now and not open source, but who cares about that when there's tons of money to be made? Stephen, I love Stephen's spirit. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. Just absolute sweetheart. Bonafide Christian tried to go over there to China and convert the heathens. Way to go, Stephen. I don't know whether Winnie the Pooh wants to be converted or not, though. And an outright capitalist. I mean, he's a beautiful American epitome of capitalism. Lives in, of course, the center of capitalism in the U.S., New York City. And a total boss. Love having Stephen around. He's actually, I wouldn't necessarily say he's the chief because, frankly speaking, all of them in the Harmonics room, they're all badasses. I absolutely love coming into the Harmonics room. There you go. Me chit-chatting away with them. These guys, they're just the best. Anyway, Stephen's a regular contributor, and he actually comes in our level 3 program and helps me teach the module on harmonic trading. So anyway, Stephen is all over, and I think one of his posts here, he said he banged out like 15 doubles or something like that through the weekend, which just clearly shows that the poop is always right. It always rises last. No, nobody wanted to jump through that hoop, eh? Anyway, so I guess just the point is that we at TRI, we are equal opportunity capitalists. I don't really care where the asset trades or who's trading it. If there's money to be made there, Brian, he'll be more than happy to take some of the public's money off their hands. So hats off to Stephen, but at the same time too, little bit of a dangerous sign there. And actually interesting to see most of the sort of crypto, we're not going to call it like the big boys, but the sort of intermediate tier. I get the feeling that a lot of this market has already moved up and it's done its repricing. So now it's just really a question of if we do have to go through some sort of consolidation, how much do we actually give back here now? I'd also say too, and this sort of speaks to what I really should be sort of talking to you guys on the weekends here is, just nice simple market summary. Somebody had pointed out on the original image that I uploaded yesterday that my January 20th date reference was slightly out of position. Not quite sure why that happens, but anyway, I suppose I should lock it into place. So I added an image with the correct inauguration date, January 20th. I still feel as though I wouldn't be surprised if we're in this kind of phase right now here with regard to Bitcoin, that I think we're bumping up into a whole bunch of technical objective. It's going to be very, very difficult for this market to really accept above this level, in my humble opinion. We did have a bot setup that actually did technically set up. You can see the low there. That's the ultimate low, 49,000 and change. Rallied away from that, then came back down, tested that low, but did not go through that low. I was a little bit sort of screwy through this because I really didn't like how the market had closed and made a lower clothesline low. I think, for the clothesline aficionados, then the W, if you will, was this move, rally off the lows, clean out that liquidity pool high, then came back down, small, very tight close, and this creates an inverted head and shoulders or a fractal. So that spat out a big buy signal right in here, and of course that was right into that whole election event. And I think you could argue that the election itself was the catalyst. Thank God the socialists are gone. And in a weird sort of way, is it fate? Is it destiny? Who knows? But I think the previous presidential, the previous term that Mr. Trump served, I think he actually came to the White House kind of like... well, this is a brand new experience. Oh, let's see what the hell happens here when we do this. I don't even really think he really kind of knew what the hell he was getting involved in. It felt that way. I remember very specific. I remember him in his Trump Tower in New York City coming down the escalator and all that crap. Felt very much like he was Mr. Businessman, and Mr. Businessman's going to Washington. This go round, however, feels as though he already has like all the pieces in place. And I also think to a certain degree that crypto itself has evolved quite a bit, obviously, since his first go round as president. Probably a lot more credibility. I do believe that the whole CME listing and the way Bitcoin went absolutely parabolic, that was under his watch. And I think it was, of course, completely planned. I'd also say that a lot of the people that were involved in running the show then are still basically in positions of power in the crypto space now. And if anything, I think they've solidified their positions here. So last go round, I think Mr. Trump came to Washington sort of like, look at, I'm here to make America great again. And as any good capitalist, right, and nationalist as well, I think he was wrapped his arms around the whole hegemony principle, and especially So considering that that was the very end of sort of the most vulnerable position the United States of America was in the whole hegemony, you know, game, if you will, was most vulnerable when he first came into office. Market was still trying to digest this whole, hey, we're going to dilute the shit out of the currency and let's see what happens. And the message I heard from him in his presidency was, don't fuck with the U.S. dollar. Right? The U.S. dollar reigns supreme. Hearing a little bit of a different message coming out of him now. I still think to a certain degree, U.S. dollar reigns supreme, U.S. hegemony. But I actually do hear, and I think that, Allen buying his way into the White House there has dramatically affected Mr. Trump's disposition. And I think also, too, there are other players that probably aren't nearly as vocal. I'm thinking about people like Cool Kelly Loeffler, Backed, and the ICE Exchange. All those people, they're lurking around. In fact, on Friday, we spent a good long period looking at that Backed stock, and I think it could go a hell of a lot higher here. So, I think all the pieces are in place for a pretty damn big rally here for crypto. And of course, seasonally, we know that we're in the friendly part of the market. So the next year, I would just simply say pullbacks are buying opportunities. And if anything, when I actually hear people come out and actually talk negatively about crypto, that's like, okay, cool. This crazy game can go on for a hell of a lot longer. Ironically enough, we'll know that the top of the market is in when we turn around and everybody and their brother is actually saying that crypto's a buy and you must be invested and you're a fool if you're not long crypto. And we're all going to get rich. As soon as you start hearing that kind of talk, then you know the party's over. So, and I'd even sort of suggested that we're in the phase now, right? This is the phase of climbing the wall of worry, where people don't believe this is a bull. And I might even argue now, if you were looking at Bitcoin, you kind of missed the boat. You're going to have to wait for some sort of consolidation here. But we're going to go through the process, kind of like what Jimmy Cramer there said, and it was hilarious how Trump totally called him out on that. Oh, Bitcoin will never hit 100,000. What a stupid statement that is. But as long as people are talking that way, then yeah, this market can go a hell of a lot higher. That's the irony of this stupid game. And I pretty much guarantee you, and we've got like a full year to get everybody in place. Get your Vaseline together. Get your favorite stroking robe on. Better get a towel or something right beside you to clean up the mess. But we've got a full year to get this circle jerk going. And I got to tell you, seeing this kind of price performance now, can you imagine what this is going to look like in a year's time? Holy crap. And the cool part about this is if you did actually play this correctly and you got your hit together like, Brian was asking you to do last year, then and that was basically the tweet that I had put out here. Usually on these newsletters, we like to do like one overview of the corn and then one overview of something like, the latest double that I've booked. And if anything, I love that newsletter. It looks so pretty. I mean, it reads so perfectly, like week after week after week, a double after a double after a double after a double after a double. I mean, this Beamish guy's just a fucking cash register. And I gotta say, all of the portfolios, they're all moving in the right direction. There's only one portfolio on the site that's not moving in the right direction, but I don't comment on his activity in the market. that's his business, not mine. So I ain't got nothing to complain about here whatsoever. And if anything, this is just business as usual. What you really have to do though, and it was cool because we have like a core group of OGs at TRI that I really like. These people are really, they're just solid, good quality people. And we all got together about a year ago, and we were, I guess, maybe about a year and a half ago, and we were working away on sort of just accumulating. And of course, now all of that damn effort is paying off as these things all pop one after the other. I mean, it's this, this was a cute little one I did recently. But on balance, a lot of these names that, basically just bought and sat on for about, I don't know, a year. I mean, when was the last time you went to the bank and said, if I give you my money for 1 year, will you give me twice as much back in 1 year's time? Well, that doesn't exist. If you can learn these 4-year cycles, it's ridiculous how easy the money is to make here. It's just, you got to understand how to play the game. You got to understand when to play the game. And what's scary is what you really have to do is you have to make damn sure that when everybody else is talking about how wonderful life is and how much money you're going to make, don't go chasing. Don't go listening to them going, oh, I totally missed out. Yeah, okay, I'll, you say this one's a good one, great. Let's go by the top, and yeah, it'll just keep going higher. Don't worry about all these technical warning signs that things are getting overextended. And that's the education that Brian's trying to teach you. Can you do it? It's only up to you. I'll tell you, what I see is an incredible confluence. Like, I think it's an interesting commentary. If we went out in the public and we talked to the public, just even a couple months ago, before the election about crypto, you wouldn't heard anybody talk about crypto at all. And then what's really even more bothersome is where the hell, damn, well, I guess we'll go back here. What's even more bothersome is in that type of market, they'd be talking about how we're all Bitcoin maxis, and of course you'll never make money being in altcoins. They're all just a scam, right? And it's the irony of it all is that was your sign that, hey, maybe I should start paying attention. So ironic. It's remarkable. What I wanted to show you though was, as I said, I don't have my right-hand man here today. I'm just sort of doing this myself, so it's probably going to be pretty sloppy. But what the hell? Having fun. I guess we'll go back to this image. So, this is a basic concept that we teach in the education program, this concept called a parking garage. I've just noticed year after year after year playing this silly game, the market moves in sort of stair-step fashion. You could use chaos theory to explain the stair-step fashion. That's fine. What I often find is if you just simply measure a range, bottom end of the range, top end of the range, and then you just replicate that range above. Think of a department store, a parking garage, and the different levels of the department store or the parking garage. And we just move from one level to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And really, so we can include things like chaos theory. We can include things like the parking garage. I also I had sort of started walking you through this thinking of, well, if this is a W and this might be like an A, B, C, D, then that means we have trade setups like the bot, which interestingly enough, the bot actually wanted you to go along there about 64,000, and you would have risked to a break of this double bottom low. And interesting too, we even had this cute little consolidation, which technically did make one higher low, two higher lows, three higher lows. Right off that bot level, move stop to scratch on basically a break of the old highs. Move stop to trailing. It's 67 and change. And you can see that bot objective is just sitting there at 107,293. Why would this level not be traded to? There's no logic as to, nope, this market will not go above 100,000. It will go straight down. That's like fucking. That's the exact opposite of like, any of one of us coming along and going, this market will bottom at exactly 59,577. Why? Well, just because that I've decided that is the low. Well, in hindsight, I guess you look like a genius, but there was no way for you to figure that out. And ironically enough, like I've worked in the business so long, this big fat honking round number at $100,000. How could that not be traded to? And you can see the market's just grinding its way higher here, and I don't see any stop in this whatsoever. In fact, and I don't know whether I know I had it on the laptop, so I don't know whether I have it over here or not, but we could probably see it pretty quickly. Hey, look at that. Bitcoin and Chinese dollars just made a new all-time high. Why? Because our leader is destroying the value of our currency right in front of our faces. Cocksucking son of a bitch. Should I be excited the fact that Bitcoin's making a new all-time high here as we're speaking here in Chinese currency? Actually, ironically enough, if any of these people had any fiscal discipline, Bitcoin wouldn't be making new highs here. So, you're long Bitcoin? Do you keep cheering for this stupid fuckhead to keep destroying our country? I guess so, eh? I tell you, hey, I mean, it's a total side conversation. You know how I get triggered talking about my poor country. This bastard is in power until next October. You remember that literally in the last 6 months, this is a really, really good history lesson for everybody. In fact, I want every one of you, there's 50 of you over on YouTube watching this. I really want you to take note of this, because I think this is going to be like epic how big this is going to be. If we go back to the United States of America, and actually I'd be curious to see what the actual currency did. I'm wondering whether, I didn't get a fill, eh? What was the high there? 106. I got an order to sell at 113 on this thing. I was kind of hoping I could bang out a double right for you guys while I was on the air, but no luck. Yeah, there it is right there. There's my shod order. And really, this thing should trade back to the 50% level, so just got to be patient. Anyway, what did I want to show you? I wanted to show you the U.S. and how it acted just ahead of the great financial crisis. Because I tell you, I think a great financial crisis is about to hit my country right between the numbers, right in the nose. Here is my silly little country's currency. And you can already see, I mean, what's so cool about what I teach all of you is that it's universal. It's right across the entire investing spectrum. It doesn't matter whether you're trading a shitcoin, whether you're trading an international shit currency, whether you're trading a stock, whether you're trading a commodity, whether you're trading broiler chickens, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. The universe works. I mean, basically, we figured out the code of the matrix. And, if the code of the matrix works on how Mother Nature builds a tree or a seashell, or the way hurricanes form, or the way Donald Trump's hair mysteriously follows the Fibonacci sequence, should it make any difference whether we're studying the Canadian dollar's behavior, whether we're studying a shitcoin? They're just numbers. It's all exactly the same. So, sadly, you can already see the wheels. His destruction of my country. It's already well underway, and this is an unstoppable train. You can't step in here and force a bottom to come in on this market. This is a weekly price chart going all the way back to 2021 here, the beginning of the sickness. This is an unstoppable freight train as far as I'm concerned right now. And I have talked to all of you about this trade for the past little while. And it's exactly what's supposed to happen. Everything according to all of the studying I've done for all of the years that I have worked in the market. Sadly, this is actually doing exactly what it is supposed to do. That's probably the hardest thing to actually convey to people. Like, I constantly go on like, and what a surprise. When I was in my 20s, do you think that there were a whole bunch of people that were actually publishing newsletters and stuff about getting rich trading real estate? Come on. So, just the mere fact that there are as many people on YouTube talking about the Canadian real estate market, and of course, they've been in the market for the past 10 years. So they are experts. They know these long-term cycles backwards. Right. Oh, it drives you crazy. And this, and I keep saying this over and over and over again. You guys must get absolutely sick of it, but it is so true. 10, 15 years ago, the guys at Top Step, we were just sitting there trading crude day in, day out, ho-hum. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and make a positive difference in this world. And I really love this Bitcoin thing. So see you later, futures guys. I'm off going to go see if I can teach the world how to trade Bitcoins. They're all like, what? Shut up. Get back to your trading post. Quit with your, your self-grandizing crap. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion, Brian. And ironically enough, nobody will care because I'm going to tell you the exact opposite of what you want to hear. So right now, and really for the past, it's actually laughable in Canada, especially in this Vancouver market here. It turns out that the price of real estate actually hasn't moved at all, even though the retail prices have actually gone up. If you actually price Vancouver real estate in gold, actually the price is just humming along. Exactly the same as it was 20 years ago, exactly the same as it was 40 years ago, exactly the same as it was 80 years ago. It's just the value of these currency units that we use in our pockets is collapsing on a very consistent, regular basis. So anyway, point here is this is an unstoppable freight train now. There's no way you can stop this, in my opinion. These Canadians, they're going to wake up one morning and there is going to be an awful rude awakening. You might even find this thing actually starts gapping lower at some point here. It's not a pretty situation, I'll tell you that much. So anyway, what I wanted to show you was, I don't know where the best place to show you this is, though. Maybe over here. Will this go back? Yeah, I'm sure it will. This is the U.S. market, so I don't think it quite has the same oomph. Yeah. But Canadian, we could very easily, like China could very easily be facing something like this in the not too distant future. And remember, George Bush Sr., he was run out of Washington right, I guess, right there. So that literally means for the last, this is January, there is January, literally the last year, literally the last year of his presidency was just absolute destruction. And I have a funny feeling that's basically the path of my country. It's going to get really, really bad for my country here. And they don't even realize it. I had a page on here that just had the Canadian markets, but I don't know what I've done with that. I guess maybe I put it away on this big computer. But I don't know, just for argument's sake. Actually, I'm really interested in some bull call spread trading here on Intel. This is the kind of advanced work that our level 3ers and actually level 4 should probably get those emails out to people. Anybody who is a level 3 grad that was interested in the level 4 spreads course that Zach basically quarterbacks. We've had enough people, I think, in the short term here to express interest in learning how to build spreadsheets, to hunt spread trades and all the various different spreads. In fact, actually, I spent quite a bit of time yesterday. I'm very, very interested in getting what's called synthetic covered call trade strategy going. Impossible to talk to you, of course, on a broadcast like this about those kind of strategies. But I'm very, very interested. And, you know, for your reference, if you are interested, I even put the tweet out yesterday. I think I did. Where are we? This guy here. I like these guys. Very down to earth, very matter of fact. They actually run a prop firm there in New York. 90% win rate. Geez, that's not a bad win rate for options strategies. This is more one of the concepts that I teach in the level 3 program is the WDB put right. Interesting way to get long stock. And this is a strategy of doing sort of they call it a net credit put spread. Try saying that 10 times fast. Put credit spreads. 90% accuracy, though, just using deltas. This is a strategy, of course, that Zach covers in detail in his level 3 or level 4. The dovetail to the introduction to options that I do in the level 3. So we are planning on doing a level 4 this January. If you are interested, let me know. I will be sending those emails out, and I got to send out the level 3 exams as well here. I've been a little bit sloppy about that. But anyway, still the middle of December, so you guys got lots of time till the new year. And all you level 3ers should be studying, and getting ready to write your level 3 exams. So want to see you all do well. But anyway, the point matter is very interested in these advanced strategies. So take a peruse of that if you have some time. If this kind of trading strategy does interest you, this is the stuff that we cover in the level 4 program. Super exciting. And I've got a whole bunch of cash sitting over there on Interactive, just collecting interest. Now that the feds aren't paying nearly as juicy rates on that short-term paper, I might go and start doing stuff like this with that capital for fun. What the hell? Not quite sure how I got off on that tangent, but anyway. I guess I was talking to you, about this Intel. I'm very interested in this Intel. I already bought the stock, so I own the stock. It's just a question of do I want to strap on this bull call spread for TRI. I think it's a pretty good demonstration. I think there's some money to be made here. This would be buying the January 2026 options. This is the 50% level off the entire range. I doubt we probably will trade back to that. I mean, you can see all the gaps all the way up top here. But I wouldn't be surprised if over the next maybe month or two, we have a bit of a swoon here. And then maybe into buy when it snows, sell when it goes. We can get a rally up into this level and fill in this gap at some point over the next 6-8 months. Then this trade works nicely. In fact, the numbers that we ran, this is the best part about these kind of models, is you can actually figure out exactly where your double is. I swear, this community that I work with, these guys are so fucking boss. Total professional traders. So you can see 2x level. If I do this spread, this is the one that I'm interested in buying the 30s, writing the 40s. 2773 is where I should theoretically get my double. And that means where did I have the Intel chart? Oh, I guess it was over here. Sorry about that. That is, yeah, right into this window here. So we get any kind of rally into this window. You can see the size of the MUOC there. There's probably a ton of sellers sitting right at this level. But if I can get that rally up into 27, 23, which is basically right there, then the options formulas all say that our position should double in value. Out goes 2/3. You book yourself a nice small profit. In fact, we did exactly the same trade on this guy, Alibaba. Identical trade. This is a weekly chart. If you look at that daily chart, you see it a little bit better. So we came in, basically strapped on the bull call spread through here. It looks pretty much the same as that Intel chart. Huge run up, sold 2/3 of the position, 20-30% profits booked, free position on the runner. Don't care really what the hell happens. And if anything, with this pullback here, if we can trade back down to this 78.6, I might even go strap the position right back on. A brand new position, right? So we kind of think of the way that I do the multiple cars in shitcoin land. It's the same logic here. We can do multiple cars in shit options land. Does that work? Shit derivatives land. So it's exactly the same trade. We hit a monster home run here, bought here, and we'll reload down here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room. So I could see very similar type price action. Boom, boom, boom. No, wouldn't surprise me. It's business as usual. Be interesting to see what happens to this company. Clearly, the current CEO, actually not anymore, the most recent CEO, he had a strategy for addressing AI, didn't quite work. In fact, I think his attitude was just ignore it, it'll go away. And I think the street reminded him, look at AI ain't going anywhere. I don't know whether on Friday I spent quite a bit of time talking about AVGO and how they say their numbers are ramping up because of AI. I don't quote me on this story here. All I know is that the guy who was running the show here, clearly the shareholders did not like what he was doing, and you're gone. So he's out of there. Now it's a question of can Intel get its act together and join the AI revolution, I guess. So I did buy the stock just because I absolutely love buying beat up stocks that are trading basically at the bottom end of their trading range. I mean, this is going all the way back to 2009. I mean, jeez, you're getting this stock on for a song and a dance. Basically, you get a almost like you could literally make the argument like 2 decades for free. So, and ironically enough, they always say, right, this is the only business when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. And in a weird sort of way, you know, if you've been following me long enough, what you should see is, wow, this looks like it's making one hell of a monstrous wedge. So I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. I don't know whether we can use that because that market structure really hasn't confirmed that yet. But maybe, I don't know, we'll go something like that. You can see at some point down the road, this thing, my hunch here, for whatever it's worth, is this thing finds some sort of base in here. I think we'll probably get like just a typical seasonal rally once the dust settles of this guy leaving, and that should give us our free trade on the options. But just owning the stock, I would not be surprised. You know, I remember a very long period of time you couldn't give away AMD stock. You literally could not give it away. We had a guy on this site, Chaba, from I think he was from Serbia. He was absolutely in love with AMD at like $2-3 a share. And I'm like, okay, well, are you buying? Are you getting along? No. Why not? It's only $2-3 a share. Just go buy one fucking share. I don't know whether he ever did actually buy the stock, but he was absolutely in love with it. And of course, we all know what AMD did since then. There's no reason why Intel couldn't do something along these lines. I mean, you know, these companies, they rebrand themselves. Hell, they might even roll the stock back. That'll probably be a good thing for this company. 2.618s, 4.669s, 8.77s. Keep in mind, this guy has not participated at all in the entire capitalist story for like literally the past 25 years. Has not participated at all. I think that that's a bet worth taking. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to make money here. There's never any guarantees in any of this. But to a guy like me, that's a bet. Like, I don't need the money today, tomorrow, or next week. If anything, I would actually like to come back to this thing in like 2035 at the end of this cycle and see what the hell this guy did here with the stock that I'm buying. You know, you can see good old reload zones, Brian's favorite fib, $24. I've basically gone in and bought right around 2021 here for my retirement account, and I have no plans in touching this anytime soon. The only question for me is, in the near term, is it worth strapping on a bull call spread for like a short-term trade to make a couple shekels on the fact that basically this is a reload zone within a reload zone within a reload zone. There's a 78.6 just off of this range. And of course, you know, Brian, he loves to come in and buy 78.6 levels. So for whatever it's worth, you know, consider this your value idea of this video. If you are interested in a trade, I'm watching. This is a 3-bar pattern. It's called an empire. It is a fractal. If we trade up through this high, which we didn't on Friday, it was an inside bar, and we might not. You know, this is the danger about trading with trend lines, is there is no real bullish structure here until this damn thing actually goes and W's on the other side of this trend line. Having said that, this 3-bar fractal here will give me a small sense of comfort. I do see a nice juicy gap right up top here. And if we just simply draw a simple trend line, I guess that's, well, actually interesting. Look how parallel that is. I like that. I would not be surprised if price jumps right back up into this trend line resistance up here. Now, does that in itself mean that the option price should jump up? Like we said, we'll get the double if we get a move up into the 27s, which would basically be a test of these highs. So from the options perspective, considering we're down at the bottom end of the range, I'm very, very interested. In fact, I did a trade on Microsoft, very similar, where unfortunately I don't have the Interactive Brokers platform up here, so I can't show you the option spread, but this is the same logic. Had this W come in, so I was like, oh, geez, I got to go and buy some of that. We also, this was based on the first 2 weeks study, so the first 2 weeks of the quarter here. This is October 1st to October 11th, first 2 weeks of the quarter. Technology dramatically outperformed, so that was sort of our tell that fund managers think we're somewhere over here. And of course, Foots Allen stock here done recently, so I guess that shouldn't surprise us. And you notice, you know, all these Facebooks and Metas and all that shit, they're all coming to life again. I've got a big whack of the XLCs, and actually I bought it previous cycle, and I really kind of like Microsoft here. I don't really want to sell this, kind of like Intel. I don't even really want to sell any of this stuff for a very long period of time, like years down the road. And looking at this now, to me, Microsoft, this looks like a big ass diamond pattern. So have we resolved this side of the diamond? Whenever I see those kind of tight W's right at the apex of the diamond, that's usually a good sign, and I want to get long. So not a big surprise to see this move up. The point I'm trying to make here is that I was looking at a bull call spread, and it already doubled. Just on that move there, the spread, because the market, of course, was so enthusiastically bullish, it already doubled. So I can't chase the damn spread trade now. But it just goes to show that you don't really need a huge movement in these assets to cause these darn spreads to go and double. So I'm willing to take a shot on this spread trade. even though ideally we would. And this will be a really interesting one, right? Let's hold Brian's feet to the fire. I just said that I thought that things will do perfectly fine on that intel, but let's see what happens. The proof of the pudding's in the eating. If the fractal fires, I told everybody on the site that I'd go and pull the trigger on the spread. And if we get that kind of rally up into, I got to see like 27, 28 up rally up into here, then I know I'm going to get a double on the trade. Well, let's see what happens here over the next 6 months. If we do nothing more than just rally up to the top end of the range, does that spread trade double? Because keep in mind, a lot of the options prices have more to do with implied volatility premiums than intrinsic value. If you understood what I just said there, then awesome. You're ready to trade options. If you did not understand what I just said there, then for fuck's sakes, don't get involved in options because you're going to get your head handed to you. Maybe consider taking our education program. There's a nice sales pitch for you. Anyway, that's an idea that I'm kicking around right now. Let's see. Actually, some interesting junior stocks like buy when it snows, sell when it goes. It shouldn't surprise that big surprise. Crypto's jumping up here. It's venture capital. It's the same thing as everything else. There are some interesting stocks out there. This is one of the ones that Kathy Woods kind of fell in love with, which I think to a certain degree actually undermined the company probably a bit because it all became like just a big circle jerk with her around this 2021. And that's just way too far, way too fast. Whenever you see your stock price go up like that and your Bitcoin price, same fucking logic. This is not sustainable over time, folks, and the market's going to have to come all the way right back down, 9 times out of 10, right back down to original bottoms. But you can see there's good old 78.6. Brian's going to be interested at that level. And look what's happening here. This interesting bottom coming in. And, we always say in the trading world, the longer the channel, the bigger the run. This one isn't quite a channel. But I definitely can see stuff like that's the bottom end of the range. This seems to be a bit of a falling wedge. Top end of the range, declining. I don't know. Very interesting price action right down in here, though, eh? Look at that. What letter of the alphabet does that kind of look like? And what's interesting about this is notice when you zoom in on this, there's a W there, and there's a W there. Jesus, there's a hell of a lot of buying interest off of this level. So this is probably a good example of the buy when it snows, sell when it goes. You're looking for assets that are trading at like 3 or 4 year lows and, just conservatively, what's a realistic price, profit objective? Actually, this might be a good opportunity for you to all interact with me here. Who can tell me what is the keep it simple, stupid, don't overthink this stuff? And if anything, there's people that I've worked with over the past 10 years that they're constantly way overcomplicating this stuff. They sometimes are just like, turn your brain off. Stop thinking about all this and outsmarting the market. Just keep it as simple as possible. So, let's do a nice little public service survey here. If I'm looking at a stock and I'm trying to think about where price is likely to go, what is the knee-jerk, keep it simple, stupid, always your number one stop kind of thinking? Kind of gave you a little bit of the answer there, but not quite. The hint is Lufkin, Texas. I think that's the name. Lufkin? That's the hint for you. What the hell is that guy talking about? I think that's the name of the place. There you are. Lufkin, Texas. Why on earth? 11 hours? Holy moly. That's a long trip. What the hell happens in Lufkin, Texas? Nope. So you fell into the trap there, Constantine. It's interesting. Famous people from Lufkin, Texas. Dante Hall. Who the fuck's that? The NFL on CBS. And NFL Monday Night Football. I have no idea. Dante Hall. Anyway, that's not who I was thinking about. This guy's way, way more famous. No. What is a line in the sand? Angelina County, Texas. Maybe make it a little easier for you. But is this gentleman's great contribution to the world? Oh, yes, he was from Lufkin, Texas. I thought so. Anyone? I've told you guys this repeatedly. I know, Andrew, you've heard me say this a million times. Constantine, you've heard me say this a million times. Nobody? Hey! I think, Constantine, you're the only one over there placating me. Hey, there we go. Luisilio Flores. There's a name. Hello, Brian and TRI's team. Hello, MM. So, where's the 50% level? Believe it or not. How appropriate. $10 right on the nose. You think that's an accident? Probably not. Might be just a pure coincidence. I was wondering whether there are any price gaps up top here. So I don't know whether I would even, to be honest with you, I don't even know whether I'd even want to use, insane previous highs like these over here. Actually, our level, well, not our level. I don't think he's ever been an instructor. But David O, one of our original actual class members, I think he won the first raffle that we had for a seat in our school program. He runs our secret options formula club, and he actually doesn't like to use price action prior to stock splits. So if we just use this high, I mean, I don't know, you tell me, is there any money to be made there? We're sitting down here at $2, and the 50% level is 5x where we are now. I do believe so. So anyway, there's a name for you to chew on. That's a pretty good example. So I've given you one blue chip name, bigger cap. And we're giving you one little piece of poo name for you to consider. All right, the nano dimensions. So there you go. There's 2 free names, and you didn't even have to subscribe to TRI's site. You didn't have to do anything. Gave you 2 nice picks for you to chew on. No guarantees from management, of course. Caveat emptor. Well, you know how all that goes. Not investment advice. Anyway. All right. So there's a couple stock ideas for you to chew on. And of course, it's a little bit late to join the China D's trade. What I would just simply say is stay the hell away from anything north of the border. Stay the hell away from it. This stuff has got, basically, it's radioactive. And listening to the people talk in this country, I hate to say it, but you know what these people in this country need? They need a good hard slap in the face. What is economic reality? The gentleman who's been running this country has absolutely destroyed the country's balance sheet. He's tried to sort of come up with makeshift solutions to solve the problems. But what he's really doing is he's trying to placate the baby boomer generation You know, and they always say senior citizens always vote in record numbers. He's trying desperately to keep the housing price as high as possible. And the way that he's doing it is through money printing and diluting the value of the purchasing power of the currency. Yes, those house prices will not go down in price, but at the same time, too, when you go to the grocery store, a dozen eggs that used to be $1, $2 are now $4 or $5. A loaf of bread that used to be $1, $2 is now $3, $4, $5, and it goes on and on and on. Stay the hell away from this communist dystopia nightmare. And unfortunately, what I wanted to show you was, kind of like that image. What ended up happening in the United States is actually the market started to break down in earnest a year ahead of Mr. Bush Jr. leaving office, because the market, keep in mind, the market, of course, was run by the people who George Bush Jr. was serving, the banksters and all that, propping up the U.S. housing market. Go watch The Great Short. It's a perfect documentary on how fucked up all of that economy got through all that. And I would argue that the Canadian fundamentals are just as fucked up as the U.S. market was through this window. And what ends up happening here is that everything's business as usual until the market gets to the point where it goes, okay, so the politicians who put all these crooked policies into place to support us, they're now leaving office. So what's the other side of this equation going to look like? What happens when they're gone? And frankly speaking, I think they were like, you know what? We don't want to find out what it's going to look like when we're gone. Let's get the fuck out now. So in his last year as president, the actual market really did start to melt down. And ironically enough, Obama, he comes into power here, right? Wins the election here. He comes into power here, and there's just a little bit more fury, and then basically socialism over the top, the insane money printing to solve the problems, and that basically put a floor in the market, and back up we go. So, I'd be very interested to watch how this Canadian stock market acts, because we're now into that final year. Basically, he has no choice. By the end of October 2025, he must be gone. So we are now into that last year countdown. And interestingly enough, I might argue to a certain degree. Let's just put this stuff away. That we're kind of in that blow off top phase. I mean, I suppose you could argue maybe this thing has to go all the way from like A to B. C to D. We might have further to go up top here. But at the same time, too, this thing's living on borrowed time. And if we go back to a weekly chart, this thing is long overdue. So there's the base coming out of the this is the dot-com boom. There was the base following the dot-com boom. I think you could make the argument that this is your long-term trend line right there. So interesting, through the sickness, they just did nothing more than they just brought the market back down to that long-term trend line. And unfortunately, this was actually the end of that last cycle, 2018. So all of this is all built on this guy just printing money like it's going out of style. And I've shown you this before. I mean, it's terrible what this guy has done. And there doesn't seem to be anything you can do to stop it, which is so sad. Actually, you know what might be interesting is to do an overlay here. Canada M2 money supply. Yeah. So you can see it was bumping along, bumping along, bumping along. And then as of this point, it just went parabolic. And he hasn't stopped at all. And this is the criticism of these Western countries, like Biden, same thing. These people are acting and they're printing money out of thin air. That's the scary part about all this. It's not even like money that they're collecting in taxes, they're raising taxes. Nope, they're just printing it out of thin fucking air. They did like a tax holiday. And everybody's like, okay, well, you're cutting taxes for the holidays? That's great. So where are you getting this money to offset the fall in revenue because of the tax break? Oh, well, we're turning the printers on. Well, that's not really going to do the country any good. Anyway. So I would make the argument at some point we probably have to trade back down to this long-term trend line. I have no idea how long this is going to take to play out, but China, as I've said repeatedly and I constantly say on social media and all that kind of stuff, China is a short and it won't be a buy again. The cycles don't turn back up for China until 2035, which is basically there. So, no idea how we get from here to here, but I don't think it's in your best interest to play with this market. This market looks extremely dangerous. Majorly problematic. So anyway, there it is. Okay, so we've talked, and of course currency. Oh boy. I mean, the funny thing is you're going to go and buy this stock market and maybe the stocks are moving up. And I think half the reason why the stocks are moving up is because of the falling currency. They just want to offset the currency printing. It might even be interesting to see what does this Canadian stock market look like in comparison to the M2 money supply growth. My hunch is you probably actually see that there really is no growth here. What was that symbol? CAM2. Let's try that. CAM2. Yeah, all right, let's see what we got there. Yeah, there you go. Now that looks like a realistic chart. So there's your Canadian stock market, which is kind of sad. Is this really a bull? How do you think Joe Sixpack Canadian has been doing since the year 2000? I suppose, ironically enough, you could actually make the argument that is a double bottom there. And this is a double bottom here. Maybe that's how we get to that bull ABCD. But how have Canadian stock investors done over the past 20, 25 years? This is why, because keep in mind, the stock market at any given point in time is actually a reflection of society, and it is technically the ultimate leading indicator of a society. So if you take the money printing out, you can see that actually our society is a shadow of its former self. So sad. Anyway. All right. I don't know why I always do it. I mean, obviously it's my country, but I get triggered by it, but I probably wasted a bunch of time. Interesting that I did notice, I was looking at the interest rate differentials here. Hate to say it, folks, but you tell me. Does it look like inflation has been put to bed? Hint, hint, hint. M's are bearish of inflation and W's are bullish of inflation. Unfortunately, and I had kind of commented, I even put tweets out to that effect, that we did for quite a long period of time. We did a whole bunch of what I thought was relatively positive work to try and deal with this inflation problem. And then just instantly in a heartbeat, vroom, straight back up. And lots of W's. W, W, W. And I don't like this. This looks like a big honking W. Sloppy as slop, but I'm not even quite sure how I would draw this. Guess all the way down there, all the way up there. Uh-oh. I do not like the look of that. And look at what this thing's doing here in the short term, straight up. We have, of course, talked at length about this. That, 2028, we should probably see another massive inflationary push. You thought prices were high? Man, we ain't seen nothing yet. If this inflation deflation gauge is correct, then we'll probably have a date way up top here, which really sucks, horse, you know what. And I suppose we could probably play connect the dots, just go boom, boom. Interesting how those highs are basically in parallel with these highs, or these lows. So I do believe we got ourselves an inflationary channel here. Yeah, wonderful. If we're really lucky, and this is the irony of all this, is the only way that we're going to actually defeat this inflation problem is if somebody comes along and says, no more spending. Stop spending money you don't have. It's the only way that this stops. So sad. And of course, like my country, nobody has the backbone to stand up to this fuckhead and say, stop spending money you don't have. And so as a result, he keeps going and spending more money that he doesn't have, that really he has no right in mortgaging like our grandchildren's future. Sadly, I won't have any grandchildren, so I guess it doesn't really matter to a guy like me. But he's basically just mortgaging away his kid's future. Surprised nobody in his family is like, Dad, you're basically fucking us for like the next 30, 40 years. Could you please stop fucking our future? Please? Take those stupid Taylor Swift nonsense crap off your wrists and maybe go and get an actual education in economics. So sad. Anyway, so this thing sure looks like it's trying to break out to the upside, eh? And the worst part about all this, of course, is, if we're fans of crude oil, when are we supposed to go and buy crude? Supposed to buy our crude oil the middle of, and really it's unleaded gasoline, the middle of February, which of course is not very far away. And then you sell it the middle of May, not best 10 years. So is this market maybe sniffing out that the energy market is about to turn up in earnest and that we're about to get another big whack of inflation in our faces? That's what this study, this is the spread between the inflation protected notes and the non-protected notes. And of course, if people are bidding up that inflation protection, then that must mean that they think there's some value in that inflation protection. And keep in mind, people, especially like smart money, all the big money guys, right? They're not going to go and spend up for these tips if they don't think that inflation's a problem. So the fact that this is turning back up here, that's not a good sign. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. So, having said that, do you think that this market, there's another opportunity for you to interact with me. Do you think that this market moving up the way that it is here, do you think this will help the Bitcoin price move higher or hurt the Bitcoin price moving higher? You even heard Jerry there the other day. Even he himself even said, well, Bitcoin is digital gold. So you tell me if inflation and the trend of inflation, in fact, I think this playground's over now. If the trend of inflation is up, right, we probably should turn that way now. Does that help the price of Bitcoin move higher? It's not a difficult answer to come up with, people. Yeah, it's going to help Bitcoin immensely. Would we, are we in the seasonal window where we should be expecting Bitcoin prices to move higher? I don't know. It's kind of a dumb question. Ask a dumb question, you get a dumb answer. Hopefully, all of you have seen this image out the butt. I do think that we're coming into a little bit of a resistance zone here. I think we've kind of, we probably do need to take a bit of a pause. But having said that, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, keep in mind 2.618 here, that's 113. And we're at like 102, 103. You could easily wake up, and I think it probably happens in early January. But I think you could easily wake up and see Bitcoin up like $10,000 in one day as we head into this inauguration orgy event here. And, dog money moving higher, stock market moving higher, Bitcoin moving higher. I mean, is this inflationary? These are inflation proxies. I think if I'm not mistaken, didn't we see the, it's a different chart. Didn't we see, I thought I saw the NASDAQ actually moving higher. Anyway. Actually, you know what? I don't even know. I guess there's Chris over there. Let's see. Right. Well, he said he's checking out today. Let's see. We usually have an AMA document. I don't know whether anybody asked any question. What time is it? Oh, geez, it's already noon, so I got to get out of here now anyway. So I think we'll probably just leave the broadcast at that. I don't know whether you guys got any value out of any of this or not. Did give you a couple of stock trade ideas, which is kind of odd. I wasn't expecting that. Here's sort of your short-term look on the old corn. And I did up a chart on my, in fact, maybe I even have it in the lounge, but I think what I'll probably do is circle back around and look at the AMA document tomorrow. I just don't have enough time here. I got to go. So just finish off the broadcast here with just a quick boo at what I posted in the sort of expectations for Bitcoin here. Where are we here? Oh, I guess I did it. There it is. So this is the chart that I had on my laptop that I've been following along here. I don't know whether I can replicate this for you or not. This is a 30-minute chart, Bitcoin, US dollar, Bitstamp. Of course, Bitstamp. I don't know whether Stamp's actually even a relevant exchange anymore. It might not even be a good idea to do a chart analysis off of this anymore. But A to B, so that's sort of like the lows from the 10th right up through the 12th. Not really that big of a move, but nonetheless. C to D, there is 107.50, and I did find it interesting. You heard me make reference earlier. On this particular chart, I had a trendline resistance up top, and there's 1.618 sitting right up at that 113 area. So I do like that as an ultimate destination, and this thing's painting higher highs and higher lows. I wouldn't get in front of this. You're kind of asking for trouble. So if we go down to, say, that 30-minute chart, that might actually even be that trend line that I was talking about. There is that bot. And I just did it off of this one. You could have done it off of that one. It's not that big of a deal, but anyway. Did we do 33% retracement? I think we did, eh? Yep. All right. And of course, always backwards. And then we project that off top. So, anybody can do this. Obviously we teach this in our education program, but, you could just literally go through the steps of how I'm doing this and replicate this yourself. And you'll have this tool in your toolbox for the rest of your days. All right, so there's 25. What I found interesting about this was it almost looks like this is an inverted head and shoulders. Like, I always find that the market sets up these bot trades, and I do think that really the market actually rallied right up to the bot level, then backed off violently, ran out these weak stops, but one low, two lows, three lows, and I actually do like this inverted head and shoulders down in here. That looks like a half decent base. So with that said, there is the upside objective, 107.58. So pretty straightforward. Go long. And you can see at this point now we have hit the move stop to scratch level. So that means if the market does come back to the 25 level, and I might even argue it means that we have to come back and play with the POC, then you probably best just to hop at scratch. So for now, higher highs and higher lows defines a bull. And if you were painting upside objectives, I would be looking for 107.5 here over the coming sessions. I could very easily see a bit of a pullback here, though. Don't get me wrong. We have moved up a chunk here through the weekend. You can see all these old horizontal support and resistance levels. That probably act as a bit of support. Think Wyckoff check kind of idea. And if we can't maintain those breakout levels and we dip right back down into this range and we take out that low there, then yeah, probably hopping off at scratch is a smart idea. If you wanted to join the trade because you just you missed it originally, what I might suggest is just being patient. If we do get the pullback to 25, then it's sort of like, okay, well, these original guys got stopped out at scratch, so let's start the count all over again. Can I get 3 higher lows and some sort of level off of that level to get me to get in there? And, you know, if that doesn't play out and you're like, well, Brian, I still really want to try and get long, what I might suggest is just botting up this. So we'll go there down to there as an AB equals CD. And of course, it's always beckons. So ideally, I would like to see at least a pullback down into these lows. And this is going to be interesting. You know, we'll review this in the video tomorrow when we meet again tomorrow morning on the site. But in essence, this would be like sort of like, okay, can I get a pullback and can I get nice market structure to get me in on the long side of this trade? So maybe something like that and like that. And I don't know where the pullback is. We would ideally like it to be more than 33%. But at the same time, too, if it's just a small pullback here, you might even just draw your bot off of that low. You know, maybe you just get a pullback here. But if you start seeing the W start forming and you start looking at your momentum indicators and they're starting to turn back up, well, maybe you sneak your way in off of this range. Just the key here, though, is if we lose this 25 level, just understand these higher time frame people that all bought down in here, they're probably going to be worried that we have to go back down to the bottom of value, which is all the way down here against these lows. So that would be sort of the way that I would approach this right now. I don't really think it's a good idea stepping in and just buying that. Maybe let's get a bit of a consolidation here. This is like a 30-minute chart. You know, this will probably take like through Monday and maybe even early Tuesday to develop. Or it just, straight, whoops. Let's try and do that again. It just keeps going. And it just doesn't give you an opportunity to get it. That's very realistic too. All right, so there's sort of your Bitcoin summary here. I think on balance, the general message, I think, is that we've come a long way. We're coming into resistance. Don't be shocked if over the next couple weeks we run into some sort of, well, and actually, geez, I guess the inauguration's still a month and a half away. Eh? Well, about a month. Let's call it a month. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a bunch of, you know, jawboning back and forth, choppy, but we sort of grind our way up into that, you know, 113, 114, 115 level into inauguration. And I wouldn't even be surprised, to be honest with you, if there's a bit of a pullback here and then a push. So you could even do like AB and then CD. So I really do like the idea that if you did want to buy Bitcoin and a lot of these cryptocurrency kind of ideas, let's get some sort of consolidation here. Just a couple weeks, you know, just back and forth a bit to frame a risk so you have some higher lows to risk against, looking for that push higher into inauguration. Don't really have any sell signals here. Don't even really have any sell patterns. And I don't even think we're even divergent yet. It'd be interesting to see. So if we go back to the daily chart, do we have confirmed divergences yet? Notice our divergence indicator. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, there's a few. Okay, well, this is kind of bit nosebleedy here, folks. Just be aware. We're definitely out. Now, this is an interesting scenario. So you had bear divs, Willie Stupid, and the market just went sideways and ground sideways. You had that huge wick and tail, Darth Maul. And then things start to firm up here a bit. And notice here comes some W's. And Willie's trying to turn back up here. This has definitely got trouble written all over it. That's definitely what I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a blow off top heading into our and actually that's interesting because, you know, I was saying earlier that I did like the idea of maybe like a consolidation to set up a move up into inauguration. That's probably not a good one. Maybe something like that. So we do have the Fed coming out here on Tuesday, Wednesday. And you notice the Fed, this was the last time the Fed talked to us. It's kind of a mid-move. Nothing really too exciting around that event. Maybe it's just something like this. So don't be surprised if we have a little bit of a consolidation here Monday, Tuesday to set up that Fed announcement. And they always say, actually, this will be a really, really good tell for you. If we just keep going up here into the Fed announcement, that's not a good sign. That's a bad sign. If anything, what we would like to see is for like Monday, Tuesday, the market actually to calm down and maybe even look a little bit heavy. And then following the Fed, we can head right back into the bull. So I actually do kind of like that thinking. I'd be careful here, folks. Be very, very careful here about buying Bitcoin right now, especially ahead of the Fed. Maybe just wait till after Wednesday's Fed announcement is over. And of course, you know, we'll be doing all our videos and stuff on the site. If we do get big juicy buys, awesome. I think if anything right now, I'm liking the idea that, yeah, there was a bit of a lower time frame setup that fired over here. You are in it now. You've had your move stop to scratch level hit. And if this thing actually starts puking out, maybe just hop off at scratch. If they just want to keep running it up, great. You see where bot targets are all the way up at 107, 108. I'd be looking for that. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that for today. Wish me luck on the road with Lily. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. PMA for the win. I hope you got some value out of that. Maybe drop me a comment or something in the video. And by all means, I tell you, we've got one of the best trading communities around. Actually, people who expect to make money from trading in the crypto space, and it's always a joy waking up. And I mean, look at this. They're even spitting up ideas. There's good old Colin. Look at that beautiful W there. I mean, we're constantly sharing ideas. So, you know, if you want to come and hang out, and in a community that I think is second to none in the crypto space and is not going to blow smoke up your ass, not going to really try and tout you to do anything in particular, we're just here to, you know, just try and make a positive difference in this world. Okay, everybody, all the best. Hugs and kisses. Thank you very much for the best wishes for Lily and I on the road. Slow and steady wins the race. Remember what your number one job is. Don't take no wooden nickels. The only thing left for Bryce is bye for now. Bye-bye.